Hi, everybody. Fandom Flux podcast. What's up?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'll do for intros, I guess.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's it's
Only
been
Casey's here on Slicer right now.
yeah. Kenchi's work is weird because news still and patient
There's kind
has
of a little pandemic happening.
and patient has had his hours changed because places want to be open less days, so he is now working Monday to Friday instead of having Saturdays. So not sure what's going to happen with that. We'll see what happens, but yeah. So, it's been an interesting week. I had a bit of a panic yesterday because
Oh?
I did this daring thing where I went outside twice. Oh my
I
god!
see.
I went outside twice, and then I came home and I drank nothing but soda, and then I got a sore throat, and I thought, oh no! Did I get the thing? Because I went outside, and I was outside. I even went to a pharmacy. That's where sick people are. And
It takes 2 weeks for you to show
yeah, I
symptoms.
know, but that doesn't. Yeah, like a couple weeks ago, someone was sort of panicking on the Discord uh, because they had a very slight fever and cold slash flu like symptoms, and we were like, oh, okay, but you're in your 20s. You even if you have it, which you don't know, you're still probably gonna be fine. And they had all these like statistics of like, but there was this one like fitness instructor that was like in his early 30s and he totally died. Yeah, you can find incredible edge cases where terrible things happen and no one can really explain it, but the vast majority of people are fine. You're almost certainly going to be fine. It doesn't matter though because people are going to panic anyway, because that's just how the
That's what
response
they do.
works. Like, I got a sore fucking throat and a slight cough, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm going to die." That's you can't do anything about it. It just
It,
happens.
it's very easy to get whipped up into a frenzy.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it'll be okay as long as people do things like not go outside unnecessarily. Which I'm in California, and we are the one of the big problem
Oh,
states
yeah,
of
that's
America.
a gentle way to put it.
In fairness, the big problem states are the ones with people in them. So, like the ones with lots of people.
Yeah.
I should rephrase. I'm not saying yeah.
Um,
I wonder how Montana is
there
doing.
was there was
Probably
a huge
fine.
hotbed of infections in California because despite being told not to do anything, people were still meeting for Bible study
Mm-hmm.
in person in each other's houses.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was on the phone with her friend who is going to her Bible study. So she's like, "Stay home. You can do it over the internet. It's fine." And no, 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 we have to. It's fine. It'll be good.
The Lord will protect you.
And like my family's Christian too, but at least we're being reasonable about this, you know?
I mean, it's always nice to hear more people aren't stupid Christians.
Like I'd go outside and for a while people were like the streets were pretty empty. And then I go to work and now the streets are getting a lot more full again, and there are people walking outside, either running or walking their dog, and I'm just like, you could just not do that right now. Just a thought.
So, fun fact: I was going to say, because the most populated states are having real problems. I was gonna say like Wyoming suddenly the place to be in America because it only has like 600,000 people. Not even. No, they've got like uh 100 something cases, so like 0.05% of their population has coronavirus.
Yeah, no, I mean that just means they're so isolated that they can't get medical supplies
Yeah.
because they're such a low priority.
So, yeah.
No, I drive into Iowa City every day for work, and as Zero was saying, it was pretty empty for a while. And then I go into work one day, and there's 40 kids at one tiny skate park, and there's joggers every, I don't know, half a block. Everyone's a runner now.
It's a lung thing, so I imagine people are going, I should exercise more because that'll fight off the infection because I'll be healthier.
My grandma, who still smokes, by the way, will still run out to the store to get more cigarettes.
Of course. I mean, you got to feed that addiction.
Hmm.
In the middle of a global pandemic in which people with weak lungs are at risk.
Here's the thing. The reason I've gone out 4 times this week is because I can't get groceries delivered. Because everyone is getting groceries delivered. So, me, the person that probably needs that kind of service more than most, isn't getting it anymore when I should be getting it more. So I have to go out and get groceries by hand and go and deal with other people more often, even though I'm at risk, because that's just how it works.
Yep. And the reason why we are not doing so great on toilet paper is not just the panic buying, but also the fact that because everybody's staying at home, there's a lot less use of commercial toilet paper and more use of consumer toilet paper, which are 2 different things.
Yeah. That is also still a thing.
Okay, so people aren't going to work or going out into public places that already have the commercial brand toilet paper, which is made to be thinner, more efficient, bigger rolls and everything, delivered on pallets and everything. But now that everybody's home, they all want the consumer brand toilet paper, which is just for your home. So they're not using the commercial; they're all using the consumer. So it's overloading that side of the toilet paper industry.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I get what you mean. That would explain why the hospital, or where I work, is just fine on toilet paper. We have the mountains we've always had
because nobody's using them.
Yeah,
which
nobody wants to. I mean, it's like half ply. It's garbage.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, we still have the problem of like. Local supermarket does not have any. Saying that, once again, shout out to the fucking people that are, like, not just doctors and everything, who deserve the praise they get, obviously, and nurses and cleaning staff, like, certain people. But also to supermarket workers who are really pulling out all the stops. Like, there is a woman who works in the supermarket that is like 5-minute walk away from me. She has asthma. She is still working, which is incredibly brave. She's also in her 50s, so I should mention that as well.
Ooh.
So
that's even worse.
Yeah, I can't make her decisions for her, but she's making a ballsy one. And their stocks are empty of toilet paper, but she also told me when I said, hey, I should probably not be here because I'm, vulnerable, but I can't get anything delivered, so I have to come and do things in person. And she's like, hey, so if you're in desperate need, we are holding back some stuff for vulnerable people. So if you need anything, just let me know, and we'll see what we can do for you.
Oh, well, sweet.
Yeah, and like that sort of thing is amazing and just a great sign of people just really looking out for other people just in general, and it's really nice to see. So faith in humanity kind of thing. On occasion, like as Zero said, there are still stupid people out there, but the good people are trying to mitigate the damage the stupid people are doing. So
That's the
Yeah.
thing in a virus situation is it's not the smart people have to worry about. It's the lowest common denominator of stupidity.
Hmm.
I can't see. Here's the thing. I can't even blame most of the people who bought toys. The people who stocked their entire fuck, but the people who just bought one pack so they had one spare one. I mean, if an entire town does that, you will wipe out all of the ones nearby. No store has enough to do that.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a problem with how we have our stores set. But in a regular world, that wouldn't ever happen. No one needs toilet paper all at the same time. Or cleaning supplies, or paper towels, or whatever is gone now.
Hmm. It's yeah, it's not great. It's
Also, also a thing that I found out. Like I say, I'm supposedly vulnerable. Uh, the NHS have not satisfactorily explained why, so I'm still going off of the assumption it is because of my blood pressure and the medication I take. Um, in trying to clarify that, I looked up the medication I take to see whether it's like, hey, this could be bad because COVID-19. And looking it up, it is apparently on the list of, hey, this medication might actually be good for COVID-19. So if you remember that panic that happened like a couple weeks ago, where everyone was buying that one medication that's supposed to be for, I think it was lupus. Uh, yeah. Uh, that's a thing that might happen to me, where I can't get it. So that would suck. But it's not like, oh my god, I'm going to die without this, so I'm probably going to be fine. I also
Yeah, I
got it
mean, just
refilled this week. That was one of the reasons I went out 4 times this week, was to get my medication refilled. So I'm fine for 2 months. But yeah,
that service more than anything should definitely be reserved for people who need it.
but people are going to panic. It's like I say, it's a thing people will do, no matter how much you say not to.
Yeah.
you know, uh, on the bright side, movies are coming out for that should be in theater, and they're available to stream.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's a weird balance, isn't it? There is so much stupidity and so much stuff that makes you want to tear your hair out, but there's also so much great stuff just of people just being decent people. I
Yeah,
mean, in fairness, movie studios releasing their films on streaming isn't necessarily a hey, this is a great magnanimous and generous thing for them to do. It's more, oh shit, we're gonna miss our window because no one's gonna go to the fucking movie theaters. So
if we don't release this, we will not have any sales.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's pragmatism,
So
but it's good looking pragmatism.
Well, unless you're Disney, in which case they're just releasing Black Widow on their own service. So, what they would have done anyway.
Yeah, it just becomes a marketing opportunity instead of a big, you know, cash infusion from revenue.
mhm.
But oh my god, that actually sucks so much. Fucking the the Black Widow movie that people have been clamoring for literally a decade, uh, and it comes out direct to streaming. Technically, that sucks so bad.
So I saw one of these direct to streaming movies. I saw Bloodshot, which is the Vin Diesel movie. It's kind of based off a comic book,
It's also a song
where
by 36 Crazy Fists. It's pretty good.
where essentially the main character is this military man who dies in combat and is brought back with a superhuman body filled with nanomachines, son.
Of
that
course.
constantly repair and regenerate his body from all damage. But they do have a hard limit. Like he can run out of basically fuel and then die. But he can regenerate from pretty much anything instantly for at least a short time. And he is going off on a mission to avenge the death of his wife,
Oh,
which the trailer kind of specifies. Well, actually, because he's basically made of nanomachines, they are basically reprogramming his memories and flashbacks to replace the face of the killer of his wife with different targets that this organization wants dead.
oh, that's actually really inventive. I
Yeah.
like that. I mean, it's
And
horrifying, but I like the idea.
and so he becomes basically a pawn for these people as their superhuman soldier of like standard revenge hero, revenge action movie star, except he's killing people that they want him to, and they're playing into the act of like, oh no, stop, please, don't kill him. You're going off like a loose cannon here. We can't control you. When they really have control.
You're such a loose cannon. It doesn't play by the rules. You gotta stop.
And it's actually a really compelling movie. I actually really liked it.
I was really hoping that would be good. That's actually really good to hear.
Lots of good action scenes, like very impressive action scenes, because he's part of there's other soldiers that have been modified to with technology to kind of help them get back into the fight. Like there's one dude who is blind, but he has a suit that basically has cameras all over him
Huh.
that's linked up to like his brain, so he can see everything around him.
Technically a real thing.
And then like he does things like hook it up with a satellite and get like a GPS view, and he's basically playing the game from third person. Like he's playing life from a third person camera angle at some points. It's really impressive. Like I like that character.
Does he
That
fumble around like you would expect? Because
No, he's trained with it.
yeah, I saw Rooster Teeth do that on fucking Immersion. It was pretty fucking funny.
yeah, that sucks. There wasn't a flashback of him doing it the first time and just blasting, like, knocking entire shelves over.
But like he's blind, and he's like driving a motorcycle, and he is linking up with satellite feed and like tons of different cameras around his outfit and motorcycle, and it's like, okay, this dude's just information overload somehow, but makes it through it. And yeah, no, I like it. This is very much like you can feel that comic bookness, and I enjoyed it. It was a fun action movie.
Cool.
I also started watching. I don't know if you guys have heard of this, the Netflix show Tiger King.
Heard of it? Haven't seen it.
So Tiger King is about.
Let me ask first. Is it any relation to Tiger Mask?
No, unfortunately.
Is it any relation to the tiger named King from Tekken?
No, it is not.
Dang.
It is, however,
That's all of the
in relation to
tigers
a man-
and kings I can think of.
It is, however, in relation to a man named Joe Exotic.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I know that dude because last week tonight. Fucking Christ.
It is a documentary series around a bunch of private zoo owners focusing around Joe Exotic and some animal rights people who are kind of the villains of the. They're all villains. There's not a single good person that gets the spotlight on them in this show. They're all bad people.
I mean, doesn't he illegally own a bunch of tigers? Like, yeah, that's not.
And it starts kind of with in media res with him going into prison for hiring a hitman to kill somebody.
Yep.
Okay.
So it goes places.
Does it mention the part where he ran for president? Because that's
I haven't
literally a
gone that
thing
far.
that happened. That's literally a
I'm
thing that
only,
happened.
I'm only 2 episodes in. But there's Doc, there's Joe Exotic, there's Stark for his Tiger Zoo. There's the animal rights lady who is like, we're all here about animal rights. And then you look at her place and she has workers. She has only volunteers. She doesn't pay anybody. She puts the animals in cages, has tours and sells tickets. It's like, you're just doing the same exact thing that they're doing, except you're backed by PETA.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Sounds like it, yeah.
And oh gosh, I'm getting sucked into this because it's just like every single, like, you get, the more you learn, the more like, oh, these people are the worst.
Got kind of a Trailer Park Boys situation going on, where everyone is just a garbage person.
Yeah, there's you look at Joe Exotic's zoo, and it's like, well, he gets in trouble with the police constantly. You talk to the various people working at his zoo, and one person just has a stump.
Oh,
Makes sense.
And it's like, he recruits people who just got out of prison and have no other option in employment.
I mean, I guess good on him for doing that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was landing, because
they
you guys
don't have anywhere else to go, and
you guys aren't particularly great to former
the person
convicts,
who lost their hand, by the way, goes back to work like 6 days later.
I assume they don't have sick time, but that's just standard American. I mean,
They want to go back to work because
he lost a hand, not a leg, so he can just walk that shit off. It's fine.
There you go.
It's cult-like. Oh my gosh. Go watch this, Tiger King on Netflix. It is a part of the world that I did not know existed.
I can't believe I was disappointed that it wasn't about like Tiger Mask or King from Tekken. I was disappointed about that at one point. I'm no longer disappointed.
Joe Exotic. So they started filming like 5 years ago about just the illegal selling of animals and everything.
Oh my god, 5 years ago?
And so while they were filming, all the things started to happen. So they caught everything.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Good on them.
They might actually get into the whole running for president thing.
So I am interested to see where this goes next. You have, Joe Exotic with the triple gay wedding.
Yep, that was also a thing. I forgot about that part of his life story. Yes, that was a thing. Also,
you have Doc, who has a harem, and you have the animal conversationist lady, who may or may not have killed her husband at one point.
Wow.
It's
this
rumored.
Just goes from 0 to 11, like Jesus.
These people are so weird. And then Joe Exotic does his country music, and he has made numerous country music albums and videos.
Are they listenable? Do they make your ears hurt?
They are listenable. But yeah, he's crazy. Everybody's crazy.
He in particular sounds particularly crazy.
He's our main character. He's the craziest.
He's magical.
Is he aware that he's the main character?
Yes,
I'm
I feel
pretty
like
sure
he
if he's
is.
not aware, he believes he's the main
He
character.
believes himself to be.
That
He
was
acts
what I
like
was really
one.
asking. Does he act like he's a main character?
Are you kidding me, Slicer? You're asking that question when he has a tiger zoo and fucking. Oh god.
I mean, it sounds like he's surrounded by equally crazy people, so you never know.
You have in the animal conversation. This lady, she's like, "I always wear cat print. Always. I love big cats. I always wear cat print everywhere."
Also, every time you say that word, you say conversationist. By the way, it's really starting to bug me.
Conservationist.
There
Sorry,
you go.
I'm slurring my words.
Yeah,
Kind of a not great thing to do when you're on an audio podcast.
yeah, conversationist. You're not doing so great as a conversationist in that sense, I guess.
I'm not doing so great as a conversationist. No.
Yeah. I don't know. But you brought some interesting topics, so that's,
Yeah.
makes up for it, I guess.
But Tiger King, go
Tiger
watch
King.
it. Watch the insanity of Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic 2020. Not even kidding. If you wanted Trump because he was entertaining, you've made the wrong call. Joe Exotic 2020.
Clearly, a better choice.
I think Joe Exotic would kill us all. But hey,
I mean, at least he'd be upfront about it. It's like,
Also,
clearly,
cool tigers.
we are not
So,
as important as tigers. The tigers get priority.
this is
Also,
the guy
he won't wear a
who's-
suit. That was a thing he said in his campaign ad.
This is the guy who's just like, if any of you animal rights people come to my zoo, this is what's going to happen to you, and cut to a video of his husband shooting a gun into the water.
Huh. All right, then.
He's gonna shoot a river.
I guess so. Yeah, I watched that. 2 episodes of it.
That sounds
still
like a
making my way
wonderful
through.
use of your time. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm watching with my dad, and we're invested by how weird this is, and magical it is in its own way. In addition, P5R Persona 5 Royal finally arrived.
Whoop whoop.
And I had the Phantom Thieves edition, which comes with a Joker mask and its own sort of display area, as well as the art book and the soundtrack. Which, all in all, that's a very good haul. Especially the soundtrack. I'm very happy to get the new songs.
Takeover is
I have-
great. I'm not gonna lie. It's a really good song.
I've only played about an hour of it, or an hour and a half. So I'm not that far in, but I've immediately noticed the differences.
There are a few.
It looks really good. The portraits look really good. There's more portraits, actually.
They did do that. They added some. It took me a while to really notice. Like, there was every now and again I was like, something's weird. But then I was like, oh, Ryuji's sort of leaned back and looking fucking with his fucking neck back, and it's fucking weird and it looks stupid. But yeah, some of them don't look great.
Yeah, some of them don't look great, but a lot of them do look great.
But it's nice to have more, honestly. Either way.
Yeah, more variety.
Bit more dynamic.
Also, there's apparently a new mechanic where you can just use this up B from Smash, which is nice.
What was this? Was that the grapple?
The grapple.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. I heard about that.
Also, your ammo refills after every battle.
Oh god, it does. That's a really nice feature.
I mean, that makes guns actually viable. That's cool.
I can use guns, and they're great.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to gun. Always gun.
I mean, especially if something's weak to it.
In the first dungeon, it's really useful because you can pretty much kill anything by unloading a clip. After that, it gets less useful rather quickly.
That's why you gotta get the better guns.
There's an actual reason to go to the gun store, guy.
Yeah,
There's a reason to get the better guns from the Personas.
Yeah, I mean, I've been like, I got the Ultimate Edition, the downloadable one.
Hmm.
And that comes with all of the DLC, including the stupid, ridiculous, over-the-top item bonuses that you get. So it just straight up gives you 100,000 yen right at the beginning of the game.
Jesus.
So I kind of went on a shopping spree and just bought every gun whenever they became available. Yeah, they still just kind of lose power rather quickly after the first dungeon. So
Yeah, I
mean,
think that the
it's just nice to have them available all the time when something has a weakness to them, and you can just unload anyway.
I am. I bought I bought the just the battle set, which has the 2 extra battles.
Yeah.
And then I got the Legacy bundle of DLC, which is all the original P5 DLC.
Yep, that's the free one.
That's not that's all I'm gonna get. I'm not gonna get everything else.
Yeah, don't get the Kasumi one. There's no point.
Yeah,
Why is that?
no, I like. There's a Kasumi DLC costume set, which is like $15. It has a ton of outfits just for Kasumi, the new character.
She is in one dungeon.
Oh. I thought she was a party member.
She is.
Huh.
I did not know that, but hey, good to know. I have no I like her original outfit enough anyway. So it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, if you want a fan service costume, that's kind of already what a default costume is. So yeah, and I don't know what all the others are. Like, I haven't seen her yet, so I can't actually go through them. But I assume it's all the same kind of stuff that the other characters get. So it's probably not really worth it anyway. Like, all of them being the free ones from the Legacy bundle is probably fine. But I probably wouldn't have
The
spent
Shadow
money for
Ops
them.
uniform alone is great.
Which one was Shadow Ops?
The ones where they wear the suits and they have the black masks. It's meant to be like the whole like post Persona 3 Cease type outfit.
I don't remember. I did go through all the outfits, but I don't remember that one. But yeah, they also have the fucking Q2 outfits. In
If you want to be chibi.
yeah, it just turns all of them chibi.
That would be hilarious in certain cutscenes.
Unfortunately, it switches back to normal outfits for cutscenes. Sadly.
I mean, there's certain elements when they're talking to each other that is not like a full-on cutscene. But yeah, that game is good. It's fun. I'm gonna play it again because I like Persona 5 a lot. Yeah, not much else to say on that other than I'm just getting started with it and it looks good.
Yeah, like I say, I'm on Madarame. Grappling hook doesn't actually come up that much. It is an occasional thing where there is an extra secret on the map. Doesn't play that much of a part.
Probably gonna be bigger in the pyramid.
Maybe. I mean,
There's a lot of near the end of that. There was a lot of verticality, I think,
maybe.
or potential verticality because everything was floating around.
Yeah, I mean, like, so far, at least in the first two, the dungeons have been mostly the same. I'm not even halfway through Madarame's yet, but they've been mostly the same with little extra areas. Some with the grappling hook, some without.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still pretty good. I like the adjustment to the baton pass system.
Everybody has it.
Everyone has it, and it does different things. So, it still powers up the next person like it did in the original, but now they quantify it, so you know what it's doing, and it's leveled. So if you hit one enemy's weakness and then baton pass to the next person, their attack goes up. Then do it again, it goes up more. And then if you do it to the final person, then the attack goes up huge and all of their attacks are free. So it costs no SP, no HP.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and
that makes combat a lot more interesting.
Yeah, it feels like
anything to stay in the dungeon longer.
Yeah, it feels like they've changed a lot of the enemy encounters to make the most of that system. So you'll see a lot more enemy waves that are varied. So you'll see like 3 or 4 different types of shadows that'll have different weaknesses. So you can play with the baton pass mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool.
That's good to know. I know that Final Fantasy VII Remake is right around the corner, and I do want to play that too, but I'm gonna probably... I have a lot of games I want to finish beforehand. So, gonna be a bit of a delay on me actually trying that. But
I think I will also get at some point.
I got... I finally got what I wanted in Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is the mech. So you can build a mech in Animal Crossing New Horizons. It's called the Robot Hero. It's a giant robot. And it is the most difficult recipe that I know of in the game to craft. It requires a rocket, gold armor, 10 gold nuggets, 90 iron, and 30 rusted components. To put that into perspective, the rocket and the gold armor are both random recipes that you can get, either by talking to NPCs or through just getting your random recipes for the day. Those each require resources of their own to craft. You get the chance of getting a gold nugget is very, very slim when you're hitting a rock with your shovel or axe or whatever. And 90 iron is several days worth of iron. And the rusted components only occur either when you help the NPC Gulliver, who shows up sometimes during the week, once a week. And then the next day you get 1 rusted component. But you can get those faster if you choose to not help him rebuild his communicator and take all those parts and just let the day pass. Then you get 5.
So it takes a really long time, then, basically.
Yes, unless you decide to time travel like I do and deal with friends and buy resources off them with money in game.
Fair. Didn't they implement some hardcore DRM-esque shit? Keep people from just exploiting things like that?
No, I can time travel as much as I want. The only thing that will happen with time travel on Animal Crossing is that you'll get more weeds, or a villager might consider moving out.
Oh, okay then.
Which, that's fine. Weeds are resources too. I can always use them.
Yeah, I assume it's like Stardew Valley in that way. I mean, yeah, there's a use for the things that grow out around.
Fibers.
So yeah, I built the robot, and it costs 50 customization kits to attempt to color into a different color. And a customization kit, normally 1 or even 6 would be a high amount for something. I need 50. It's like 30,000 bells and all these resources, and now I have a giant robot, and now I can stop playing Animal Crossing for a while. Mission accomplished.
Fair. Yeah, that feels like a good stopping point or pause point.
Now I can watch Tiger King and play Persona 5.
Yeah.
I've developed that town. I built a cemetery, or graveyard rather. I built an entire grand entrance to the museum. I made it into an actual city. I'm done.
Is there a difference between a cemetery and a graveyard?
Cemetery is attached to a church.
Ah,
That is a good question, though.
But yeah, that's it for my week. I've gone out to work, for KFC and everything, but uh, that's about it. I've been home.
my week has been fairly standard, aside from the other stuff that I mentioned. Oh, and I started playing Realm Grinder again for some reason.
Wow. Fell
I'm-
down that hole?
I'm not entirely sure how that happened, but it did. So, okay.
I mean, there's a lot of content in that game. A lot of
I
content.
guess. They're still supporting it too, which is weird, because I don't know, it seems weird. Because it's an old game, and it's pretty, like, I don't know. It's weird. But aside from playing weird old games that are just time sinks, I also see into the I have changed up my Patreon a little bit because I want to write the stories that I have let fall by the wayside, but I also don't have the motivation to do that on top of all the other things I'm working on. So I said, hey, donate money and you can vote on what story I will update every week, and I will do one a week. And there will be an early access thing also for them, so you can get it as soon as it's done, or wait until I post it publicly and have like actual proofreading done for it and everything. So that is a thing that I started doing this week, and I have to naturally write a chapter of one of those stories this weekend to post on Monday. So that's fine. Yeah.
Well, hey, you're keeping busy.
Yeah, sounds doable, too. I mean, that's not a crazy expectation.
Yeah. It's gonna. Like I say, these are all stories that I want to actually write more for, but I'm also doing the quest that is now apparently taking like 6,000 to 8,000 words per update for some reason. I don't quite know when that happened, but it did. And then I've got the commissions that I'm also doing. So yeah, so yeah, that is a thing that I'm putting on top of those things because I still want to do them, but I need a good reason to do it. So money helps in that regard. Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else I've done. I mean, we talked about Persona, which is really good and stuff. Yeah, I think that's it. That's pretty much all I got. I talked about the other stuff already. So, Slicer, how you doing?
Not too bad. Honestly, things are fine at work.
Yeah, not getting overloaded or anything.
Not really. Chances are we will be, because we are the biggest, hands down, the biggest hospital in a ways. But right now, it's not too bad. We're not running dangerously low on anything. We used a chemical called Virex to disinfect things, and now we have implemented a program similar to propane, where you have to hand in an empty bottle of Virex to get more. It's a weird saving method, but it's like, what are they going to do? Not give you more? Like, you need that to clean with. So I guess they're just keeping track of how often it's used or something. I'm not sure. It took them a really long time to make it so we don't have to clock in the same fucking hallway. Because it's like, it's a hallway that's about 15 feet across and about 30 feet long. And we had about 40 people crammed into this.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was really stupid. And then, like, in the middle of this hallway, there's a door that leads to what we call the bullpen, because it's where all the supervisors are. They crammed them in there in little cubicles a while back, and no one's happy about it. And so we just, one by one, walk through this area, because that's where all the sign-in and the keys are and stuff like that. So we put them away. I don't know why we go in there one at a time when we're shoulder to shoulder in the same hallway, but whatever. So they changed that. So now our keys and our pagers and stuff are in our own team's areas. So that makes us go to a different area. And now we can clock in and clock out at all the different various machines spread throughout the hospital.
That's good.
It took them a while to get that far, but we did it eventually. Yeah, not many other things. I get 25% off of the food in the cafeteria, so that's really nice. I've been able to actually get the food there and not feel bad, because it's not good quality food, but it helps, definitely, after a long shift.
Yeah. I mean, it's hospital quality food. It is what it is.
Yeah. Can't really even... Oh, I guess we got face shields, which was kind of surprising. Like, I do project work. I work on floors, and by the time I get to work, like, most of the clinics have closed because I'm second shift. So I'm not really around patients. I feel like other people need those shields more than me. But we got them. So we're safe on that front too. So that's good. On a non-professional front, actually one last thing. The university gave us $300. We don't get hazard pay or anything, but they gave us a bonus of $300. So that was nice. With that money, I bought 5 games. Let's see. Jedi Fallen Order. Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Medieval. Let me check. I forget what the other ones are. I texted myself because I wanted to make sure I had the list right. Oh, there we go. Oh, Persona 5 Royal. That was the other one. I can't believe I forgot that, considering you guys were just talking about it. But yeah,
I hear it's pretty good. Did you hear that they changed the baton pass mechanic?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Apparently, you weren't listening for the past half hour.
I was. I just forgot. I was trying so hard to remember what the stack sitting right out of view was that I just wasn't actually thinking. But yeah, no, all those gameplay improvements sound fantastic. I can't wait to play it. It's unfortunately at the bottom of my list because that's like a 100-hour game. So
it can be less if you have already played it, I guess.
It probably will. There are a lot of scenes that you will probably end up skipping just because they're identical to the original.
I mean, there are some lines that get changed. Honestly, like from what I've seen, there's a lot of really minor stuff. And if I recognize that a scene is going the exact same way, it's like, especially the animated cutscenes, because it's not like they added anything to those that they're already the same.
Yeah, I mean, there are some changes, like they have re-recorded some things that I honestly didn't think they would. Like, you can notice it occasionally, like Sojiro's lines, more than anyone else's, I think, have probably been re-recorded. I'm not sure why, but he's a bit more mellow than he was in the original version. Like, in the original, at least early on, he was kind of snappy with you constantly, but in this version, he's a bit more laid back, which is
okay. That honestly fits his personality way more. I don't know why he was so angry all the time.
Yeah, and they recorded more of the scenes, like you remember there were quite a few scenes that were just no spoken dialogue, just all text, and they just wouldn't voice it. They voiced a lot more of those scenes.
Oh,
which
sweet!
Is kind of nice. Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I have that, and I got up to the politician's dungeon, and then the game crashed multiple times, and I just lost interest.
Oof.
Yeah. It didn't even crash. I got stuck into a loop where my character attacked, and then it just hung on them. So he was just, like, doing the idle stance for hours. I left that game on for a while. just to make sure it wouldn't just snap out of it eventually. But nope, it did not.
Did you ever look it up? See if there was
No,
a fix
no,
or anything?
I couldn't do anything. The game wasn't responding. It wasn't frozen. It just wasn't doing anything. So I don't think there was anything I really could have done.
Yeah, I mean, just like to avoid it in future more than anything
Oh,
else. Like,
fair enough. Yeah, I just kind of hope it's gone by this point. I mean, I got it when it first came out. Oh well. That's why I was curious about the DLC, because I didn't realize there was DLC for that game beyond the costume. I mean,
yeah, the original version had a bunch of personas from the earlier games. So, like Orpheus and Izanagi and all that stuff, as well as
do you just get them, or do you have to actually fight them or something?
they are in the compendium, so you can just get them whenever, but you can also fuse them.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that is a thing you can do. But they also have like originally they were like each separate packs that I bought a lot of, and it was really probably more expensive than I should have decided to bear. But you know, whatever. So they'd have the original version that was the one from the actual game, and then they would have a version that they redesigned to look more fitting for Persona 5, called Picaro versions. And they were slightly different stat-wise and had different moves and stuff. Then they had the costumes, which was all a bunch of costumes from different games. So like they had ones for Persona 3 and Persona 4, and they had one for Catherine. So
the Catherine costumes I actually liked because the ending theme was the when the victory theme in battle was the theme when you get to the top of the freaking climbing thing in Catherine, which is a hallelujah.
Yep. If you depending on the costume you had the protagonist wear, so if you give Joker a different costume, it'll change the battle music and it'll change the victory music.
Oh, that's actually really nice. I like that.
Yeah. I think that was all of the and they had the item DLC that I talked about before, where it just gives you a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Well, since it is last on my list, I might have to check through the DLC list before I actually start playing it. See if there's anything I feel is worth getting.
There's
the Legacy bundle is entirely free, and it gives you all of the DLC from the original Persona 5.
Tons of costumes and accessories for your character.
Yeah.
All
the stuff I just talked about, all the personas and all the costumes and the free items, it gives you all of that.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I would say is probably going to be worth it, you don't have to get it immediately, is there are the extra challenge battles, which feature characters from previous games. So if you're if you want that would probably be worth it. It's like $10. But hey, you know what? I enjoy this game a lot, so I'm not really bothered that much by it.
Yeah, I mean, by the time I get around to playing it, that it'll be next month, so I could definitely justify spending that much money that slowly. There was I think I mentioned it. I made a list a while back about games I wanted to get, and several of the ones I got were on it, and they were much cheaper than what they were before. So I don't mind spending that saved money, so to speak, on DLC.
Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, though. That's an interesting choice.
That one I just happened to see, and I really like Baldur's Gate, so that was unexpected, but nice to see.
Yeah.
Let's see, I don't think anything else has really happened. Nothing can't really go anywhere. Online dating is dead.
Oh, I almost forgot there was a mini Nintendo Direct that happened.
Oh, what happened?
There was. It was very long for being mini, but yes, that happened. I don't know.
Basically, they showed off some games that we already knew about.
Yeah, Xenoblade Remake is. They did an extended trailer for that.
Yeah, which I'm happy for. They showed that. So there was a cut bit from the game, the original game, and you had to read about it in the like art book and everything. And it's the shoulder of the Bionis, and they are making that into a full-blown epilogue, which is just an adventure with the characters Shulk and Melia. And yeah, that looks really good and like a nice value, because that covers in the one major patch left in the story of like, why isn't this here? And I'm excited for that game that comes out May 29th. And I'm a big Xenoblade fan. Xenoblade 1 is very good, but it definitely needed the quality of life that they're giving it. In addition with all the graphical improvements.
Mm.
Then there was they talked about
They announced
Ninjala.
the new. Oh yeah, they did Ninjala. That's a thing that is probably not for us.
Looks like Splatoon, but with melee combat
Yeah.
and ninja moves.
And they announced the next Smash character,
Which is going to be a character from ARMS.
which was apparently a game at some point.
I played the demo for ARMS and I actually really did enjoy it, but that's not a game that I would buy, if that makes sense.
Apparently, a lot of people did enjoy it, and it did pretty well, I guess. But I had literally never heard of it before this.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I talked about it on the podcast at one point.
Okay, maybe you did, but Arms is a very generic title. That
It's like it's basically like a more complicated Wii boxing, if that makes sense. Because your characters have long arms, so you can curve punches, and you can also jump. And each character has special abilities and finisher like special moves. And obviously, different characters have different abilities, and some, for example, this guy's heavy, so he does not flinch. He launches big fists, and you have different types of boxing gloves and arms that you can equip. They can do different things. This one's a shield. This one fires a freaking laser.
I don't
when
know
it's
how
fully
they would
charged.
turn this into a single character for Smash, though. But I also
They were going to
don't
pick
especially
a
care.
character from ARMS. There are many characters in ARMS.
Okay.
Because it's a fighting game. My personal preference is a character who is more like who's named Min Min. And her whole thing is that she has these dragon arms that shoot lasers, and she does lots of jumps and kicks. And she is a fan favorite because Springman is already in Smash as an assist trophy. So, yeah. Let me just find.
They also talked about Bravely Default 2, or as I called it, Bravely Don't Care 2.
Oh, I had friends who were freaking out over Bravely Default 2 because they're really big Bravely fans.
What was wrong with the first one, aside from being kind of generic?
That it was incredibly generic, and it was a JRPG when I'm generally not a fan of JRPG. It was the most JRPG I have seen in a while, and
I see.
Generally speaking, I'm just not into that.
I have little interest in Bravely Default as a series. I don't like the very basic turn-based combat, I guess. It's something I've realized as I've grown older, is that I've really gotten tired of turn-based combat. It's why I couldn't really make it that far in Octopath. Plus the random battles were just really annoying.
I remember you really liking Octopath, at least for a while.
I was, and then I dropped off it because it was random battles everywhere, non-stop. It was like these battles take too long.
Yeah.
And I was getting really bored. Also, Borderlands, XCOM, BioShock, those are all coming to Switch.
Yep. Not sure Like XCOM, I could probably see as like one of those, but the other two.
XCOM 2, all 3 Bioshocks. I think it's Borderlands 1 and 2. I'm not sure if 3 is included.
It's the Handsome Collection.
Okay. Also, there's an update for Ring Fit Adventure, which makes it into a rhythm game with a special mode.
Yeah,
And
that looked kind of cool, and I kind of want ring thingy just because I need to do more exercise, and that's supposed to actually be kind of good for that. Go figure.
I've heard lots of good things about Ring Fit Adventure.
It's also super expensive because of fucking scalpers, but you know.
Yeah, they outlined the DLC, like some more details about the DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield, or at least it's what they said they did. They showed footage. They talked about the same things they talked about last time, so...
Yeah.
That's not really... Yeah.
It's coming out in June, so... There we go. Showed a few other games. They are porting Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy.
Yep.
As well as we are going to get pod racing. Don't worry. Pod racing will come to Switch.
This is tense. Sorry.
New update for Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is just, hey, you want to go craft more Easter stuff that'll be only good for Easter? And I'm like, no, I don't care.
And will then look incredibly out of place the rest of the year? No thanks.
I'd rather be fine with my fine as is literal city and with my giant robot. I'm fine. I don't need to make it Easter stuff.
Can you also have
by the way,
outside of the airport?
I have 3 now.
Oh, okay.
And I have a Godzilla colored one, I have a red one, and I have a blue one, and I've moved them to each. I've moved them to 3 different beaches, and they are all positioned so that they are staring straight at Tom Nook's store or at Nook's cranny. And that is where their battleground will be.
Okay. I'm into it. I can get behind that war.
No matter who wins, you win.
They're each coming from the ocean, and they're going to fight at Nook's cranny. It's like, what? Where did the people coming to my town? Where did the Godzillas go? And I'm like, they're ready for battle.
They're going to fight on top. They're not actually going to go to fight each other. They just owe a lot of money to Tom Nook, so they're all going to destroy his house.
I have lots of fun little jokes in my town. Like there's the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, which are 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, which are 3 garden gnomes and a traffic cone, all in a row.
Huh. Well, all right.
I do stupid stuff for no reason because I feel like it. Whereas my brother's super organized with this thing. Anyways, they also showed off a few things like Clubhouse Games, 51 worldwide classics. Do you want to play Texas Hold'em, bowling, Mancala, slot cards?
I'm pretty sure that's a license.
It's all of their classic board game type things.
Yeah, Clubhouse Games was a thing I think I had when I was a kid.
There was Catherine Full Body is coming over July 7th.
Yep, that's a thing.
It wasn't received horribly, so that's fine.
King's Bounty 2. I have it apparently has a long history. I don't care. It was overall, it was very kind of meh direct, if that makes sense. Like, there was nothing there that really made me go like, man, that was great. It was just like, okay, thanks for the update. I would like to know about No More Heroes 3 and Breath of the Wild 2 and Bayonetta 3 and Metroid Prime 4 and all these other games.
There were a lot of things in it that were like not interesting that should have been interesting. Like, they announced a Smash character. No one cares.
They didn't show off any footage, I think, is the problem. And I think that's also because of the coronavirus situation. I think that's been kind of havoc for the development teams. So it's hard to really judge just like how much do they actually want to have for this direct and how much could they not realize because of the current global situation. Either way, it's a mini direct, so that means that it deflects any of my criticism with being, oh, but there's going to be a big direct at some point, right? There's a 35-minute direct, but you're going to do a big one with one of the games that I mentioned that are that you've shown.
This was a mini one. Wait for the big one that's 25 minutes long. That's how that works.
Yep. I would very much like. I don't care about Bravely. I love Xenoblade as a series. Xenoblade 1 is one of my favorite games of all time, and I think it deserves a remake. And I'm glad to see so much of it. It looks really, really good.
I'm just waiting for the next big direct where they spend 80% of it doing a deep dive on Deadly Premonition 2. That's what I'm waiting for.
Please. That would be amazing.
Yeah. You know what? We haven't talked about that in a while either.
What, Deadly Premonition?
I thought there was another, like, I know that developer has been working, but he hasn't had anything really new recently, right?
Swery?
Yeah.
He did that thing on Xbox One, Dark Dreams Don't Die, I think is what it was called. It didn't.
Because I know he was
anywhere.
doing he was doing the Good Life,
thing.
but D4 died, but Dark Dreams Don't Die did die. Because like the last thing that we saw from him was Deadly Premonition 2, which is a blessing in disguise, which is the one coming to Nintendo Switch this year.
The last thing he did.
But he did The Good Life, which is in development, also for Switch, which we haven't really seen any trailers for recently.
Yeah. And the missing J.J. Macfield and the Island of Memories, which I've never heard of, but was apparently released in 2018. So he has been working on stuff.
It's called. Yeah, but it. I feel like Nintendo has a lot of games that they're not willing to talk about right now.
I mean, that's how you keep them under wraps properly. So
yeah, I'm just wondering when they are going to, because right now, the biggest games they have coming out in the next few months are a Xenoblade remake and Trials of Mana, which is also a remake.
Great.
Bravely Default 2 is
Bravely Default 1, but with a 2 on it.
Yeah, I'm
pretty sure it's the same cast.
I'm confused by what they have planned for the. Like, I guess the later of the half of the year is going to be packed, but it feels like after dropping Animal Crossing, they're like, yeah, no, okay, we're good for a few months.
I remember seeing a fucking push notification coming up on my phone that they were doing something with Mario. I think it was porting a lot of the old titles.
So there is a report. It is not official or anything yet, that they will be doing basically a bunch of Mario classics remade and re-released.
Yeah,
as well as a new Paper Mario
ones,
game.
Like the actual 3D ones.
Yeah, so Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy was rumored to be amongst that.
I would like to play Galaxy.
Galaxy would probably just be like living upgrades, convenience upgrades.
Yeah, Sunshine they would have to fucking fix.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then a new Paper Mario, which would be closer to the ones people like rather than the crap ones they put out recently.
What was the last one? Sticker Star?
Color Splash.
Color Splash. And then before that was Sticker Star, right?
Hey, in Sticker Star, you are encouraged to never battle enemies.
Because you'll damage your precious stickers, obviously.
There's no experience in Sticker Star. There's no leveling. And your moves in battle are limited are resources that you have to spend to fight enemies.
Who thought that was a good idea? That's stupid on every level.
There is no reason to ever fight a battle in Sticker Star, and if you are going to fight a boss, please search the area for the item that you can use in the battle to just end the battle.
Wow.
What a weird design decision. But,
Mm-hmm.
it's Nintendo. They tend to do strange things and hope they work. Sometimes it does and works really well. Sometimes it doesn't. And you get games like that and Mario Sunshine.
I would be happy for a new Paper Mario that is more like the traditional in terms of story and characters. I don't care about the gameplay as much as I care about it not being just, hey, we put 1,000 Toads, generic Toads, as characters in this game because Miyamoto said we have to.
Hmm.
In Super Paper Mario, Luigi dies, and Mario has to go to hell to save him.
Oh, well, that's more significant than a painting in a mansion.
And Peach convinces Bowser to join them to fight against a greater threat that is devouring worlds.
Called Satan.
Look, when your main hoe or your side hoe, I don't know how Bowser does these things, wants you for something, you tend to listen.
Yeah.
And in Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, there was a door that sealed away an evil entity that was millennia spanning, and it's like, okay, Paper Mario, Sticker Star, Bowser kidnapped Peach. Also, he touched this shiny rock from space and it broke and it shattered, so you have to get all the tiny rock pieces.
So I was listening to the Two Best Friends, old podcast at this point. I think I'm like 22 of the Super Beast, and they were talking about the remake of Final Fantasy VII and why it took so long. It's because the game is fucking enormous. And have either of you guys played Thousand Year Door recently? That game is huge.
It
Like
is huge.
if they did remake that game, it might need to be done in 2 parts if they actually like add on to things.
Well, I don't think they're going to remake it, but the rumor was that they were going to make a new one in the style of that.
Oh.
More closer to the Paper Mario / Thousand Year Door style rather than the Sticker Star Color Splash style.
Yeah, that would be far better.
Because, yeah, let's get rid of your partners, so you don't have any fun characters that travel alongside your silent protagonist, except for this one annoying Navi type character. Yeah. It's. I was watching a video on this recently, and in Paper Mario and Paper Mario 1000 Year, they don't really like 1000 Year Door kind of references it, but Paper Mario the original does not reference the fact that Paper Mario looks like he's made of paper. The name Paper Mario is an Americanization of the original title, which is Mario Story.
That was a good call.
It is a good call to change it, but then in where it really went off the rails with Sticker Star and Color Splash is there are constant paper puns. Every character addresses the paper nature of everything.
They leaned into it, yeah.
Like, in Super Paper Mario,
I guess you can tell because Sticker Star, Color Splash, they're art jokes. The references directly to the fact that it's they're doing it. It's paper dolls on everything.
In Super Paper Mario, you are basically launched into another dimension, essentially, where you have to go and try to save this whole thing from this entity that will devour all worlds. And thus, you have the ability to switch between 2D and 3D. And that's a cool advancement on the whole paper style, is you can switch between those two different environments on the fly. And it's still not like, oh, we're all made of paper. Like there's subtle references to it. It leans in a little bit, but only as far as it advances gameplay. Anyway, I remember I played the they did a Mario and Luigi and then Paper Mario crossover of the 2 RPG series, and it was one of the worst games I've ever played because it was so boring.
Oh.
Paper Mario does not use any of his moves from his own game.
Is it me, or does it feel like Mario is kind of going the way a lot of these mascot platformers did about 10 years earlier than he did? Like, there was a point in time where it didn't matter what the subtitle or the numbering on the end of a Mario game was, it would be a good game.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the past 10 years or so, it's just gone more along the lines of, maybe look into it before you try it. Like, it's no guarantee it's going to be any good just because it's got Mario in the name.
I disagree. I thought 3D World was great. I thought Odyssey was great. I enjoyed Odyssey a lot. But
How about
when
the
it comes to the
games,
RPG,
the new Super Mario Brothers?
that was a while ago.
Was it? That was like
Yes, that was.
2010 or so.
But since then, he kind of came back from that. And then it was Mario Maker, which those are...
You literally just talked about how Color Splash and Sticker Star was
I'm
shit.
talking about the RPG series, not the platforming aspect. If that makes sense. Because while there have been dips in the quality of the platformer, the RPG series have been a nosedive for both Mario and Luigi and the Paper Mario series.
When was Bowser's Inside Story?
You mean the last good one?
Yeah.
That was on the 3DS back in 2009. Or DS, actually, original was DS is 2009. They did a remake for 3DS recently.
Ah.
Which kind of came out when the 3DS was already dead, so... 2009 would be the last good one. There was the Dream Team, which you don't really hear anybody talk about.
I don't even remember what that was.
Dream Team. That one came out in 2013, which Mario jumps into Luigi's dream to go and do things, and yeah.
Well, that just sounds like psychological terror waiting to happen.
Isn't Luigi scared of everything?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm actually going to fall asleep. I've been awake way too long.
I was going to say, that sounds like it would be more interesting than it probably ended up being. But yeah, we should probably wrap up this point. I think we've run out of things to talk about.
I'm genuinely interested in all the Nintendo news. I just haven't.
That was all the Nintendo news. We stopped talking about Nintendo news about 10 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, there was Saints Row 4. That's coming to Switch. Are you excited?
Cool, I guess. God, that series was bankrupt. Morally and idea-wise, I mean.
4 was fine. Get Out of Hell was stupid, and then Agents of Mayhem was barely even a thing, let alone a bad idea.
Oh, I own that game.
You do? Why?
Yeah. Because it was like $5. I still feel like I got ripped off. I played it for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, wow, this is bad. This feels bad.
Yeah. Saints Overwatch. Anyway. So, oh, shit. Patreon hasn't gone through yet, has it? I don't think it has.
Patreon has not gone through.
Okay, we'll do that next week then. So, yeah. Thanks for listening to the Fandom Flux Podcast episode. If you want to get in contact, you can do so through the YouTube channel, through the comments, but it's probably not going to work. But, comment anyway, because it helps the channel and stuff. Like and subscribe and guys.
I forgot to talk about April Fools, but nothing really happened that impacted me, so it's fine.
Everyone decided April Fools was a bad idea when everyone is scared to death. So, most people decided that. Some K-pop star was a fucking moron, but aside from that, most people were sensible enough to not be an idiot.
And nothing of value was lost.
Yeah, some K-pop douchebag said, "I have coronavirus, and I'm sorry for all the people I may have infected all the time I was doing stuff," and it was all bollocks. He didn't have coronavirus, but I was totally doing it to raise awareness of how coronavirus is bad.
I hate that excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was doing it to raise awareness. No, you're not.
Yeah.
It's like looking at somebody and then calling them the N-word and saying, "I was doing it to raise awareness of racism."
Yeah. This guy's the second person to do that as well, by the way. I just want to remind everyone of the douchebag that said on a crowded plane that he had coronavirus because he was coming from Wuhan and he was feeling sick.
Oh, right, that asshole.
Yeah, that asshole.
The terrorist.
In fairness, it was in January when everything wasn't crazy yet, but still, that asshole. Or on our public Discord, link in the description. Going right back into the outro without any fucking context.
Go for it.
Please donate on Patreon if you feel so inclined. Once again, the charities probably come first, but if you feel so inclined, we would appreciate it. Once again, thanks for listening to the podcast and stuff. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.